The need has always been there. The need for food, shelter, compassion. This year, it just happens to be greater. If you need help, please reach out. If you can give help, please reach within. In a year with fewer red kettles, your $25 monthly donation helps rescue Christmas for the most vulnerable. Enlist in Love's Army at givewestwood.org.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
I'm in the car next to you on the highway, heading to work. I sit in front of you on the bus. I work in the office down the hall and stand next to you in the elevator. We've known each other for years, and I've told you a lot about my life. But of all the things you know about me, here's one you don't. I'm one out of every 6 Americans, and I'm struggling with hunger. This isn't an incurable disease. It's not an uncontrollable epidemic. There's enough food in this country to feed every hungry person. This problem is closer than you think. Fortunately, so is the solution. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for those around you, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Real Country Radio, Hudson Valley. We play everyone's country favorites on Real Country Radio.
That cowboy hat to cover up his horns. Sweet talking forked tongue had a tempting charm. Before I turned around, that girl was gone. All I can say is, bartender, pour me something strong. Here's to the past, they can kiss my glass. I hope she's happy with him. Here's to the girl who wrecked my world, that angel who did me in. I think the devil drives a coupe de ville. I watched him drive away over the hill, not against her will. I've got time to kill down in Broken Heartsville. It was long and chrome sitting in the lot. Fire engine red, that thing was hot. He revved it up, she waved goodbye. Love's gone to hell and so have I. Here's to the past, they can kiss my glass. I hope she's happy with him. Here's to the girl who wrecked my world, that angel who did me in. I think the devil drives a coupe de ville. I watched him drive away over the hill, not against her will. I've got time to kill down in Broken Heartsville. Here's to the past, they can kiss my glass. I hope she's happy with him. Here's to the girl who wrecked my world, that angel who did me in. I think the devil drives her cool to hell. I watched him drive away over the hill, not against her will. I've got time to kill down in Broken Heartsville.
Hey, pretty baby, are you ready for me? Yeah, it's your good rockin' daddy down from Tennessee. I'm just out off from about San Antonio, with the radio blasting and the bird dog on. There's a speed trap up ahead in Selma town, but no local yokel's gonna shut me down. Cause me and my boys got this rig unwound, and we'll come 1,000 miles from a guitar town. Nothing ever happened around my hometown. I ain't the kind of just hang around. But I heard someone calling my name one day, and I followed that voice down a lost highway. Everybody told me you can't get far on $37 in a Jap guitar. Now I'm smoking into Texas with a hammer down, and a rockin' little combo from a guitar band. Hey, pretty baby, don't you know it ain't my fault? Love to hear the steel bells humming on the asphalt. Wake up in the middle of the night in a truck stop, stumble in a restaurant, wonder why I don't stop. Well, I gotta keep rocking while I still can. Got a 2-pack habit in a Motel 10. When my boots hit the boards, I'm a brand new man, with my back to the riser, make my stand. Hey, pretty baby, won't you hold me tight? I'm loading up and rolling out of here tonight. One of these days I'm gonna settle down and I'll take you back with me to the guitar town.
Guitar Town, Steve Earle on Real Country. My name's Matt Hubble. Coming up, Confederate Railroad going to sing for you. How about Toby Keith, As Good As I Once Was? I've got Kendall's on the way. How about Mark Chestnut and Loretta Lynn, too? And one of my favorites from Alabama, Roll On 18-Wheeler. Hey, if you're over the road tonight, we appreciate you tuning in to Real Country. Thanks so much for listening.
Napa Know-How.
Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping on over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa Know-How.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Customers, students, and staff expect a new level of clean. Cintas has the essential products and services to help you carry out cleaning protocols effectively. Cintas performs surface sanitizer and disinfectant spray services to common touchpoints, installs and refills touchless hand sanitizer dispensers, and provides commercial laundry services to help minimize employee exposure. Give everyone the confidence they need to keep coming back. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Professional painters know waiting between coats for trim, doors, and cabinets to dry is time out of your day and money out of your pocket. Bare Premium Cabinet and Trim Enamel from the Home Depot lets you finish faster. With excellent flow and leveling, it dries to the touch in 1 hour, and less dry time means less downtime. Bare Premium Cabinet and Trim Enamel, just $39.98 a gallon, and that's before the Pro Extra discount. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Available in-store and online.
Back to work at that job, the one you realized isn't for you? Well, that's if you're lucky, right? Make your move. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Take control of your future now. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
The station you can always count on for real country. Always. All the time. All the time.
Imagine a dirt road full of potholes with a creek bank and some cane poles catching channel cat. I'm a little more country than that. Picture a small town with an old hound laying out front of the courthouse while the old men chew the fat. I'm a little more country than that. I just want to make sure you know just who you're getting under this old hat. 'Cause girl, I'm not the kind of two-time or play games behind your back. I'm a little more country than that. Think of a Hank song from days gone with a steel ride that's so strong it sends chills up your back. I'm a little more country than that. If you want to break home in a school zone with the doors locked and alarms on, girl, you way off track. I'm a little more country than that. I just want to make sure you know just who you're getting under this old hat. 'Cause girl, I'm not the kind of two-time or play games behind your back. I'm a little more country than that. Those 3 words from others, but they fell flat. But this ring ain't something that I mean to give you and then take back. I'm a little more country than that. I'm a little more country than that. I'm a little more country than that.
Country Radio, Hudson Valley. The best country music of yesterday and today.
Real country.
She said, I seen you in here before. I said, I've been here a time or two. She said, hello, my name is Bobby Joe. Meet my twin sister Betty Lou. And we're both feeling kind of wild tonight. You're the only cowboy in this place. And if you're up for a rodeo, I'll put a big Texas smile on your face. I said, girls, I ain't as good as I once was. I got a few years on me now. But there was a time back in my prime when I could really lay it down. And if you need some love tonight, then I might have just enough. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. I still hang out with my best friend Dave. I've known him since we were kids at school. Last night he had a few shots, got in a tight spot, hustling a game of pool with a couple of redneck boys, one great big fat biker man. I heard David yell across the room, "Hey buddy, how about a helping hand?" I said, "Dave, I ain't as good as I once was. My, how the years have flown. But there was a time back in my prime when I could really hold my own. If you want to fight tonight, guess those boys don't look all that tough. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. I used to be hell on wheels back when I was a younger man. Now my body says that you can't do this, boy, but my pride says, oh yes you can. I ain't as good as I once was. That's just the cold hard truth. I still throw a few back, talk a little smack when I'm feeling bulletproof. So don't double dog dare me now, 'cause I'd have to call your bluff. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. May not be good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Real country.
Tell your friends to listen here for classic country favorites.
Made a wish upon a star, I could have a brand new car. Got tired of wishing, so I stole one. 17 and knew it all. My dreams were big, but my thoughts were small. So many roads, somehow I chose the wrong one. But Jesus and Mama always loved me, even when the devil took control. Jesus and Mama always loved me. This I know. I felt trapped most all my life, found new kinds of lows and highs. Never been a husband, but I've had a lot of wives to hold me. Headstrong, stubborn, couldn't be told, like a wild horse that couldn't be rode. A rainbow chaser, hungry for gold and still searching. But Jesus and Mama always loved me, even when the devil took control. Jesus and Mama always loved me. This I know. I wish Mom could see me now and how I've turned it all around. Lately I've been going down the right road. Life's a picture that you paint with blues and grays, cans and canes. Heaven knows I'm not a saint, but I know Jesus and Mom always loved me, even when the devil took control. Jesus and Mom always loved me. This I know.
92.5, 96.5.
Real country.
Heaven's just a sin away, oh, just a sin away. I can't wait another day. I think I'm giving in. How I love to hold you tight, oh, be with you tonight. But that still won't make it right, 'cause I belong to Him. Way down deep inside, I know that it's all wrong. Your eyes keep tempting me, and I never was that strong. Devil's got me now, gone and got me now. I can't fight him anyhow. I think he's gonna win. Heaven's just a sin away, oh, just a sin away. Heaven help me when I say I think I'm giving in. Oh, way down deep inside, I know that it's all wrong. Your eyes keep tempting me, and I never was that strong. Devil's got me now, gone got me now. I can't fight him anyhow. I think he's gonna win.
On 920 WGHQ, 1260 WBNR, 1420 WLNA, 92.5 and 96.5 FM. This is Real Country Traffic.
I'm Susie Cerrone with Real Country Traffic. Another really tough morning in the Hudson Valley as we flirt with 32 degrees. I'm seeing delays on the Newburgh Beacon Bridge westbound back into Orange County. Rip Van Winkle Bridge, Kingston Rhinecliff Bridge. Crews are out there salting and sanding as we speak. Just a reminder, 218 closed north and southbound Cornwall to West Point. 9W, your alternate in Cornwall. Looks like an accident on 9W north and Quaker Avenue is gone. Route 17 looks great in both directions from the Thruway to 84. And you've got a good ride on the Thruway in both directions between Orange and Ulster County. Nothing is blocked. We're sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, at the forefront of care and research for over 50 years. More info at crohnscolitisfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Steve Williams with the Real Country AccuWeather forecast. We do have a wind advisory for today. Snow shower this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny, very cold and windy. Some of those winds gusting past 50 miles per hour. High today, 41. Windy night tonight. It'll be partly cloudy, low 35. Partly sunny for tomorrow, the high 48. Plenty of sun Wednesday and Thursday. The high Wednesday, 57. Thursday's high up to 63. For Real Country Radio, I'm Steve Williams.
In the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, It's more important than ever to protect your family from seasonal flu by getting vaccinated. Seasonal flu presents many of the same symptoms as COVID-19, and it can weaken your immune system and place you, our community, and our overburdened healthcare system at greater risk. Seasonal flu vaccinations are available from your doctor and from pharmacies throughout Ulster County. Get yours today. A message from the Ulster County Department of Health.
One of the nation's most historic programs.
Tiptoeing down the right sideline, into the end zone. He's got a touchdown run.
This is America's team.
Navari Bordeaux with a game-ending interception.
Army plays here on your home for Black Knights football, the Army Sports Network.
It's a home field advantage for Army against Air Force this Saturday at 11 a.m. at West Point. Brought to you by Star Gas Products in Poughkeepsie and Kingston. Listen for Army football on 1260 and 1420 a.m. or 92.5 and 96.5 FM.
Real Country Radio, playing yesterday's legends and today's favorites from Catskill to Peekskill and all points in between.
You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up.
Listen now in Beacon, Newburgh at 96.5 FM, in Kingston at 92.5 FM, and in Peekskill at 1420 AM, and online anytime at realcountryhv.com.
In the deep end of a dive bar.
This is the Hudson Valley's Real Country Radio.
While the tears on my makeup melts my painted smile into a frown. The crowd thinks I'm a dandy, I'm Bandy the rodeo clown.
We're country to the core. Real country.
There's an Elvis movie on the marquee sign. We've all seen at least 3 times. Everybody's broke, Bobby's got a buck. $100 for the gas in his pickup truck. We're going 90 miles an hour down a dead-end road. What's a hurry, son? Where you gonna go? We're gonna howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night. Lucy's got a lipstick on a little too bright. Bobby's getting drunk and looking for a fight. Liquor on his breath, trouble on his mind. Well, Lucy's just a kid along for the ride. Got a 6-pack of beer and a bottle of wine. Gotta be bad just to have a good time. They're gonna howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night. Bobby told Lucy the world ain't round. Drops off sharp at the edge of town. Lucy, you know the world must be flat. 'Cause when people leave town, they never come back. They go 90 miles an hour to the city limit sign, put the pedal to the metal before they change their mind. They howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. Yeah, howl at the moon, shoot out the light. Yeah, it's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night. It's a small town Saturday night.
Hudson Valley. From Alabama to Zach Brown, we play everyone's country favorites.
Are you alone? Can you talk to an old friend? Right or wrong, I had to hear your voice again. Unwritten law, protocol says to leave the past alone. I just wanted you to know, sometimes driving home at night, I let your memory take control, and you're sitting by my side. I turn up the radio, cruise down old Route 59. Girl, it's solid gold. Well, I'll let you go. I just wanted you to know. Through the vine, I heard your life has turned out well. As for mine, you know it's really hard to tell, 'cause now and then what might have been interferes with what might be. And I just wanted you to know, sometimes driving home at night, I let your memory take control, and you're sitting by my side. I turn up the radio and cruise down old Route 59. Girl, it's solid gold. Well, I'll let you go. I just wanted you to know. Please don't cry, I'll say goodbye, and I won't call you anymore. But I just wanted you to know, sometimes driving home at night, I let your memory take control, and you're sitting by my side. I turn up the radio, cruise down old Route 59. Girl, it's solid gold. Well, I'll let you go. I just wanted you to know.
You say you're gonna take him, oh, but I don't think you can, 'cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. Women like you, they're a dime a dozen, you can buy them anywhere. For you to get to him, I have to move over, and I'm gonna stand right here. It'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can, 'cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. Sometimes a man's caught looking at things that he don't need. He took a second look at you, but he's in love with me. Well, I don't know where that leaves you, oh, but I know where I stand. And you ain't woman enough to take my man. Women like you, they're a dime a dozen, take my man. No, you ain't woman enough to take my man.
Classic from Loretta Lynn on Real Country. I'm Cactus Dave. Hope you had a great weekend. It's Alabama now at Real Country.
Roll on highway, roll on along, roll on daddy till you get back home. Roll on family, roll on crew, roll on mama like I asked you to do. And roll on 18-wheeler, roll on, roll on. Well, it's Monday morning, he's kissing mama goodbye. He's up and gone with the sun. Daddy drives an 18-wheeler, and he's off on a Midwest run. And three sad faces gather round mama. They ask her when daddy's coming home. Daddy drives an 18-wheeler, and they sure miss him when he's gone. Yeah, they do. Ah, but he calls them every night and tells them that he loves them. He taught them this song to sing. Roll on highway, roll on along, roll on daddy till you get back home. Roll on family, roll on crew, roll on mama like I asked you to do. And roll on 18-wheeler, roll on, roll on. Well, it's Wednesday evening, mama's waiting by the phone. It rings, but it's not his voice. It seems the highway patrol has found a jackknifed rig in a snowbank in Illinois. But the driver was missing and the search had been abandoned, 'cause the weather had everything stalled. And they had checked all the houses and the local motels. When they had some more news they'd call. And she told him when they found him to tell him that she loved him. And she hung up the phone singing, roll on highway, roll on along, roll on daddy till you get back home. Roll on family, roll on crew, roll on mama like I asked you to do. And roll on 18-wheeler, roll on. Mama and the children will be waiting up all night long, thinking nothing but the worst is coming with the ringing of the telephone. Oh, but the man upstairs was listening when mama asked him to bring daddy home. And when the call came in, it was daddy on the other end, asking her if she had been singing the song, singing, roll on highway, roll on along, roll on daddy till you get back home. Roll on family, roll on crew, roll on mama like I asked you to do. And roll on 18-wheeler, roll on, roll on. 18-wheeler, 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 18-wheeler. Roll on, roll on, roll on.
92.5, 96.5.
Real country.
There's a long black train coming down the line, feeding off the souls that are lost and crying. Rails of sin, only evil remains. Watch out, brother, for that long black train. Look to the heavens, you can look to the skies. You can find redemption staring back into your eyes. There is protection and there's peace the same. burning your ticket for that long black train. 'Cause there's victory in the Lord, I say, victory in the Lord. Cling to the Father and His holy name, and don't go riding on that long black train. There's an engineer on that long black train, making you wonder if the ride is worth the pain. He's just waiting on your heart to say, let me ride on that long black train. But you know there's victory in the Lord, I say, victory in the Lord. Cling to the Father and His holy name, and don't go riding on that long black train. Well, I can hear the whistle from a mile away. It sounds so good, but I must stay away. That train is a beauty, making everybody stare. But its only destination is the middle of nowhere. But you know there's victory in the Lord, I say, victory in the Lord. Cling to the Father and His holy name, and don't go riding on that long black train. I said cling to the Father and His holy name, and don't go riding on that long black train. Yeah, watch out, brother, for that long black train. That devil's driving that long black train.
Josh Turner coming through with a long black train on Real Country. I'm Cactus Dave playing today's stars and the legends too. Hope your weekend was nice. Get your sugar fill for Halloween. And now we're heading into November. Got the holidays quickly approaching here. And of course, tomorrow's election day. And if you're planning on ignoring the election coverage tomorrow, well, you are in the minority. 80% of Americans say they will be watching the election returns closely or very closely, but the remaining 20% say they'll stay as far away from the election night coverage as possible. That's from the Pew Research Center. Glad to have you along as we play country favorites. I've got Charlie Rich coming up, Clint Black's on the way, and Morgan Wallen next on Real Country.
The same nail too long. My ears can't stand to hear the same old song. And I don't leave the highway long enough to bog down in the mud. 'Cause I've got rambling fever in my blood. I caught this rambling fever long ago, when I first heard a lonesome whistle blow. If someone said I ever gave a damn, they damn sure told you wrong. I've had rambling fever all along. Rambling fever, kind that can't be measured by degrees. Rambling fever, there ain't no kind of cure for my disease. There's times I'd like to bed down on the sofa and let some pretty lady rub my back, and spend the early morning drinking coffee, talking about when I'll be coming back. 'Cause I don't let no woman tie me down, and I'll never get too old to get around. I want to die along the highway and rot away like some old highline pole. Restless rambling fever in my soul. Rambling fever, kind that can't be measured by degrees. Rambling fever, there ain't no kind of cure for my disease. Yeah.
This is Real Country Radio, Hudson Valley. From Alabama to Zach Brown, we play everyone's country favorites.
Hey, did you happen to see the most beautiful girl in the world? And if you did, was she crying, crying? Hey, if you happen to see the most beautiful girl that walked out on me, tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I need my baby. Oh, won't you tell her that I love her? I woke up this morning, realized what I had done. I stood alone in the cold gray dawn, and knew I'd lost my morning sun. I lost my head and I said some things. Now comes the heartaches that the morning brings. I know I'm wrong, but I couldn't see. I let my world slip away from me. So hey, did you happen to see the most beautiful girl in the world? And if you did, was she crying, crying? Hey, if you happen to see the most beautiful girl that walked out on me, tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I need my baby. Oh, won't you tell her that I love her? If you happen to see the most beautiful girl that walked out on me, tell her I'm sorry.
Real Country. Now in Beacon and Newburgh at 96.5 FM.
Said a word all night, but the wheels are turning in her mind. Now I was riding shotgun, and I knew things had gone right. Just as soon as she dropped me off at
moonlight, seeing nothing but the tail lights. And that's a pair of tail lights I may never see again. She hit me with her left and right, showing me nothing but the tail lights. And that's about as lonely as a highway's ever been. Back here with my thumb out in the wind. Was it something that I did to her, or the things I never said? I wonder if the way we were was only in my head. Now if I even make it back to town before the sun comes up, I'm gonna hit every parking spot around till I find that pickup truck. Now I'm talking in the moonlight, seeing nothing but the tail lights. And that's a pair of tail lights I may never see again. She hit me with her left and right, showing me nothing but the tail lights. That's about as lonely as a highway has ever been. Back here with my thumb out in the wind. Well, I'll bet right now she's laughing at how she brought me to my knees. But she won't be laughing half as loud when she gives me back my keys. She'll be walking in the moonlight, seeing nothing but the tail lights. That's a pair of tail lights she won't ever see again. She hit me with her left and right, and with nothing but the tail lights. I know that's about as lonely as the highway's ever been. Back here with my thumb out in the wind. There she goes. Here I come. Leave me out here in the middle of nowhere. Drive this.
Doesn't matter if it's an older song or a newer song, Real Country mixes them up just right.
Pour me another drink, 'cause I don't wanna feel a thing no more, hell no. I just wanna sip it till the pain wears off. Pour me another round. Line 'em up and knock 'em down. Two more, let's go. 'Cause I ain't never heard like this before. Don't wanna think about her or wear a ring without her. Don't wanna hit the karaoke bar, can't sing without her. So make them drinks strong, 'cause brother, she's gone. And if I'm ever gonna move on, I'ma need some whiskey glasses, 'cause I don't wanna see the truth. She's probably making out on the couch right now with someone new. Yeah, I'ma need some whiskey glasses if I'm gonna make it through. If I'ma be single, I'ma need a double shot of that heartbreak proof, and see the world through whiskey glasses. Nothing's left to do but sip around the truth and see the world through whiskey glasses. Need a better view where I don't drink of you. Last call, I swear this'll be my last call. Now I ain't drunk, darling, no more at 3 a.m. Mr. Bartender hit me again. Don't wanna think about her or wear a ring without her. Don't wanna hit the karaoke bar, can't sing without her. So make them drinks strong, 'cause brother, she's gone. And if I'm ever gonna move on, I'ma need some whiskey glasses, 'cause I don't wanna see the truth. She's probably making out on the couch line 'em up, line 'em up, line 'em up, knock 'em back, knock 'em back, knock 'em back, knock 'em back, fill 'em up, fill 'em up, fill 'em up, fill 'em up, 'cause if she ain't ever coming back, line 'em up, line 'em up, line 'em up, line 'em up, knock 'em back, knock 'em back, knock 'em back, knock 'em back, fill 'em up, fill 'em up, fill 'em up, fill 'em up, 'cause if she ain't ever coming back, I'ma need some whiskey glasses, 'cause I don't wanna see the truth. She's probably making out on the couch right now with someone new. Yeah, I'ma need some whiskey glasses if I'm gonna make it through. If I'ma be single, I'ma need a double shot of that heartbreak blues and see the world through whiskey glasses. Nothing else to do, sit around the drum, see the world through whiskey glasses. Yeah, right on the ain't nothing else to do, sit around the drum, see the world through whiskey glasses. Yeah, right on
There's Morgan Wallen. That's called Whiskey Glasses. Real Country with today's stars and the legends, too. And, you know, the Bank of America's Cash Rewards credit card can earn you 3% cash back on online shopping for all the essentials in your life. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
I worry about lots of things. My finances, my grandkids.
If you're 65 or older, you have enough things to worry about. Pneumococcal pneumonia shouldn't be one of them. Even healthy adults 65 and older are at increased risk for this potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. Help protect yourself with the Prevnar 13 pneumococcal 13-valent conjugate vaccine, diphtheria CRM 197 protein. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 13 does not protect against all strains of the disease. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with a weakened immune system may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-866-694-9300 or visit Prevnar13.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about.
Hi, this is Steve Greenfield with a Real Country News Update. Joe Biden is slamming President Trump for wanting to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. Speaking at a rally in Tampa, he said,
Trump got his Supreme Court justice, and he did it for one overwhelming reason. Something he's been trying to do since the day he got elected, to destroy the Affordable Care Act. He's going at it again.
Biden warned that if successful, over 100 million Americans would lose their health care protection due to pre-existing conditions. The former VP then reflected on what the act has done for the nation, saying before it was enacted, insurance companies could charge women more money just for their gender. Early voting has begun in Ulster County. Executive Pat Ryan gave figures in a Facebook Live yesterday.
As of Wednesday night, we had crossed over 15,000 early voters. In fact, it's closer to 16,000, as well as we've had record-setting absentee mail-in numbers. We've already received well over 12,000 absentee ballots. So when you combine all of those numbers, we've had nearly 30,000 votes already received, which is over 20% of all registered voters.
Also making headlines this morning, though there's been one more fatality in the last few days. Ulster County is reporting fewer coronavirus cases this week. 2 local schools, however, are still going all remote. Saugerty's school superintendent Kirk Reinhardt says the 2 students from Grantee Morse Elementary and 4 students from Riccardi Elementary haven't been tested for COVID-19, but have been designated positive. Under state rules, anyone showing symptoms will be considered positive for the virus, even if they don't get tested. New York's open enrollment period for the state healthcare exchange begins on Sunday. All residents without coverage are encouraged to go to the state's website. The period ends on January 31st, and Governor Cuomo says it's especially important that everyone be covered during the pandemic. And Amazon not having any problems making money during the coronavirus outbreak. The company released its third quarter earnings report, showing a rise of 37% in sales compared to the year before. For Real Country Radio, I'm Steve Greenfield.
On 920 WGHQ, 1260 WBNR, 1420 WLNA, 92.5 and 96.5 FM, this is Real Country Traffic.
I'm John Gilligan with Real Country Traffic, and we're off to a good start at the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. It's quiet both directions. The wind has died down. No problems at the Mid-Hudson Bridge going to Poughkeepsie. We've got a good start going on to The eastbound side of 84, it's quiet from Fishkill going to Brewster. No problem starting out as you go southbound to Connick State Parkway. Watch for the wind, though. Could cause some downed trees throughout the morning. Traffic is moving okay, though, on 9D and Route 9. This report is sponsored by the Ad Council. Okay, dads, it's time to do the Cabbage Patch, the Running Man, or something more contemporary, the Floss. That's right, dance like a dad with your kids. Learn more at fatherhood.gov. That's fatherhood.gov.
Hi, I'm Steve Williams with the Real Country AccuWeather forecast. We do have a wind advisory for today. Snow shower this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny, very cold and windy. Some of those winds gusting past 50 miles per hour. High today, 41. Windy night tonight. It'll be partly cloudy, low 35. Partly sunny for tomorrow, the high 48. Plenty of sun Wednesday and Thursday. The high Wednesday, 57. Thursday's high up to 63. For Real Country Radio, I'm Steve Williams.
WMC Health is proud to launch Maria Ferreri Children's Healthcare Services at Mid-Hudson Regional Hospital. This is great news for our entire community. They have a new 24/7 pediatric emergency room, and if a child needs to be hospitalized, a new inpatient unit is ready. Now, local families have access to Maria Ferreri Children's Healthcare Services closer to home. Don't wait if your child needs emergency care. Call 911 or come to Mid-Hudson Regional Hospital at 241 North Road in Poughkeepsie.
From Catskill to Peekskill and all points in between, we're the only place for classic country hits. Real Country Radio.
The sun is shining every day. Clouds never get in the way for you and me. I've known you just a week or two, but baby, I'm so into you, can hardly breathe. And I'm in so totally wrapped up, emotionally attracted, so physically acting, so recklessly I need you, so desperately sure as the sky is blue. Baby, I love you. Never knew that I could feel like this. Can hardly wait till our next kiss. You're so cool. If I'm dreaming, please don't wake me up, 'cause baby, I can't get enough of what you do. And I'm being so electrically charged up, kinetically acting, erratically need you, fanatically you get to me, magically sure as the sky is blue. Baby, I love you. I can't believe that this is real, the way I feel. Baby, I've gone head over heels. And I'm so totally wrapped up, emotionally attracted, so physically acting, so recklessly I need you, so desperately sure as the sky is blue, yeah. And I'm so electrically charged up, kinetically acting, erratically need you, fanatically you get to me, magically sure as the sky is blue. Baby, I love you. Baby, I love you. Do you love me too? Baby, I love you.
From Waylon and Willie through Garth and Kenny and on to Blake and Clay. Now that's what real country is all about.
He wondered how she'd take it when he said goodbye. Thought she might do some crying, lose some sleep at night. But he had no idea when he hit the road that without him in her life, she'd let herself go. Let herself go on a singles cruise to Vegas once, then to Honolulu. Let herself go to New York City. A week at the spa, came back knocked out pretty. When he said he didn't love her no more, she let herself go. She poured her heart and soul into their 3-bedroom ranch. Spent her days raising babies, ironing his pants. Came home one day from the grocery store and found his note. And without him there to stop her, she let herself go. Let herself go on her first blind date. Had the time of her life with some friends at the lake. Let herself go buy a brand new car. Drove down to the beach he always said was too far. Sand sure felt good between her toes. She let herself go on a singles cruise to Vegas once, then to Honolulu. Let herself go to New York City. A week at the spa, came back knocked out pretty. When he said he didn't love her no more, she let herself go. To Vegas once, Honolulu, New York City. Came back knocked out pretty.
There's Short Straight. She let herself go. It's on Real Country. Hey, stick around for more of your favorites. John Conley and Maddie and Tay's latest number one is coming up.
I worry about lots of things. My finances, my grandkids.
If you're 65 or older, you have enough things to worry about. Pneumococcal pneumonia shouldn't be one of them. Even healthy adults 65 and older are at increased risk for this potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. Help protect yourself with the Prevnar 13 pneumococcal 13-valent conjugate vaccine, diphtheria CRM 197 protein. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 13 does not protect against all strains of the disease. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with a weakened immune system may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-866-694-9300 or visit Prevnar13.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about.
An important safety message from Central Hudson. Being nosy can keep you safe. If you smell natural gas, do not light a match. Do not turn on light switches, appliances, or anything electrical. Stop what you are doing, go outside, and leave the area immediately. Then let us know by calling Central Hudson's gas odor hotline or call 911. Your safety is our top priority. For more safety information, go to centralhudson.com.
Hi, I'm Heather. I work at Central Hudson. I give to the United Way because I know that all of my donations stay local. When COVID-19 hit, United Way was there, providing critical information and financial assistance to local folks in need. If you want to make sure your charitable giving helps people in our community, give through payroll deductions or online at ulsterunitedway.org or text Ulster United to 50155. Keep it local and support the United Way.
Hi, this is Sarah O'Connell.
And this is Jonah Treebois. So tune in to Radio Rotary every Sunday morning at 9:30 right here on Real Country Radio and learn about the great work of your local Rotary clubs.
Radio Rotary is sponsored by Salisbury Bank and Trust, Absolute Auction and Realty, Mid-Hudson Addiction Recovery Center, Third Eye Associates, Norman Staffing, and Patterson Auto Body.
That's Radio Rotary, Sunday mornings at 9:30 right here on Real Country Radio.
I'm standing under a waterfall to introduce the New York Series scratch-off game with a top prize of $1 million. And each ticket is inspired by a New York icon, like Niagara Falls. Or the Adirondacks. Or a classic amusement park. The New York Series from the New York Lottery. Play and you can win up to $1 million. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly.
Don't miss fall on the Rondout at Kingston's waterfront. Take in the fall colors and the fall flavors at your favorite restaurants. Now featuring new seasonal menus. Savona's Trattoria with classic Italian fare. Ship to Shore, New American Bistro and Steakhouse. Old Savannah, Southern barbecue and comfort food with a twist. And Mariner's Harbor, everyone's favorite fresh seafood. Enjoy the flavor of fall, inside, outside, or pick up curbside at Kingston's favorite restaurants on the Rondout waterfront.
If you live, work, or frequently visit the Hudson Valley, you've probably passed by the sign for Anderson Center for Autism countless times. Have you ever wondered what our award-winning educational and residential program is all about? Well, let me shed some light. Ours is a place where evidence-based practices marry creative solutions, where students with autism learn how to communicate using whatever modality works best for them, where they learn independent living and vocational skills in nurturing environments, where their families enjoy visits full of special moments, where professionals come from all corners of the globe to obtain high-level training, where staff build rewarding careers, and where people develop lifelong connections. Learn more about our work optimizing the quality of life for people with autism by visiting us online at andersoncenterforautism.org. That's andersoncenterforautism.org. Or schedule a tour by calling us today at 845-889-4034. 845-889-4034.
Is it my imagination, or does the kitchen look bigger since we put in the new cabinets?
You're right. The frameless cabinets we got from Madison Square Design have a cleaner, sleeker, contemporary look. They take up less space than our old framed cabinets, with much more storage space inside for storing kitchen appliances.
Madison Square Design in Kingston features the best names in the industry, including their latest collection of Eclipse frameless cabinetry with a large, affordable selection of specialty woods and colors. From concept to creation, perfect form and function. See MadisonSquareDesign.com.
When you want today's hot country hits and yesterday's country favorites, there's only one place to go. Real Country Radio.
As the maid poured wine and we prepared to dine, I knew I was feeling out of place at a table as large as a river bar, and I love you written all on your face. I appreciate your hospitality, but I wish that we would go. Let me drive us to McDonald's and I'll talk to you concerning something you should really know. I'm just a common man, drive a common van. My dog ain't got a pedigree. If I have my say, gonna stay that way. 'Cause highbrow people lose their sanity, and a common man is what I'll be. I'll take a Chevrolet just any day, so give your daddy back his Mercedes-Benz. And there's some common people that I hang out with. They're my good time buddies, they're my friends. And I'd rather chug a lug a mug of Budweiser beer than sip a crystal glass of wine. So won't you make your mind up to believe in me and leave this high living world behind. I'm just a common man, drive a common van. My dog ain't got a pedigree. If I have my say, gonna stay that way. 'Cause highbrow people lose their sanity, and a common man is what I'll be. Yes, I'm happy just being free. And I'm happy just being me. And I hope that you will see. I'm just a common man, drive a common van. My dog ain't got a pedigree. If I have my say, gonna stay that way. 'Cause highbrow people lose their sanity. And a common man is what I'll be. I'm just a common man, drive a common van. My dog ain't got a pedigree. And if I have my say, gonna stay that way.
There's a good classic from John Conley. That is The Common Man. It's for Real Country. And this is Maddie and Tay. They would go on to take this to a #1 song this year. Die from a Broken Heart. It's on Real Country.
Hey mama, how do you get a red wine stain out of your favorite dress? Black mascara off a pillowcase, curing one too many headaches. Mama, can I come and maybe stay a few days this weekend or next? And hey, how do you get a red wine stain out of your favorite dress? How does he sleep at night? Mama, the nerve of this guy to leave me so easy. Am I gonna be alright? I wanna kick myself for falling so hard. Mama, can you die from a broken heart? Can you ask Daddy if he's got time to come and look at my front door? It got slammed last night, and now it don't close right. And just promise that you won't tell him everything, and keep that pistol in the drawer. Mama, please don't say I'm gonna laugh about this someday. You didn't see the way he drove away. How does he sleep at night? Mama, the nerve of this guy to leave me so easy. Am I gonna be alright? I wanna kick myself for falling so hard. Mama, can you die from a broken heart? Oh, broken heart. Can your knees get out from praying so hard? Can you go blind from crying in the dark? Was I hurt real if he don't feel like I feel? How does he sleep at night? Mama, the nerve of this guy to leave me so easy. Am I gonna be alright? How does he sleep at night? Mama, the nerve of this guy to leave me so easy. Am I gonna be alright? I wanna kick myself for falling so hard. Mama, can you die from a broken heart? A broken heart.
Real Country. Now in Kingston and Rhinebeck at 92.5 FM.
If you had not have fallen, then I would not have found you. Angel flying too close to the ground. And I patched up your broken wing and hung around a while. Trying to keep your spirits up, and your fever down. I knew someday that you would fly away. For love's the greatest healer
rather see you up and see you down. So leave me if you need to. I still remember angel flying too close to the ground. Leave me if you need to. I still remember.
On 920 WGHQ, 1260 WBNR, 1420 WLNA, 92.5 and 96.5 FM.
Good morning. You're now listening to Kingston Community Radio, airing on FM 92.5 and AM 920 WGHQ, Kingston, New York. This programming is brought to you by our listeners and corporate underwriters who are interested in presenting local community radio. The opinions expressed on this program do not represent those of Pamel Broadcasting or Kingston Community Radio. Listeners are encouraged to send in $10 per month to help bring this program to you. Mail your contributions to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. For more information or to donate online, visit our website at mykcr.org. And good morning, this is Dan Gatis, and thank you for tuning in, sharing the morning with us. Monday, November 2nd, 39 degrees right now here in uptown Kingston, and there is a likelihood of snow showers this morning, about a 50% chance of snow showers, and then becoming partly cloudy later today, high of 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, giving way to cloudy skies later, and a 20% chance of flurries possible overnight. Low of 32, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing brings a bigger smile to my face than cooking up a big meal for the whole family and lots of friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million kids in our country who struggle with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food to give hope to hungry kids. But they can't do it without your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow! Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is Greg Chorvis, and once again, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is asking you to help the needy this holiday season. For the last 50 years, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund has helped less fortunate families have a happier holiday. Look for our collection boxes at the local branches of the Ulster Federal Credit Union, Rondout Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, Ulster Savings Bank, and at the Kiwanis Ice Arena in Sorgenes. Thank you very much, and have a happy and Merry Christmas.
And all day Thursday, this Thursday, November 5th, Happy Christmas Fund is engaged and happening live from Boyce Dairy Milk House, 62 O'Neill Street, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Join us this Thursday for the whole day. We would like to take this time to express our gratitude to Pamel Broadcasting for donating this airtime today on Thursday, November 5th for our annual Happy Christmas Fund Radiothon. Their generosity is enormous. You're listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ 920 on your AM dial and 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. KCR's Talk Radio, 331-9255 is our call-in number, and call in 331-9255. And let's get to the on-air studio. Today is Hugh Reynolds and Mario Catalano with us today. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hello, Dan.
Good morning, Kingston. Day before the election. Thought we would do some election coverage today. We're going to have Dr. Levy from the Siena Polling Institute give us a call, perhaps bring us up to date on their latest polling, see if we can get some insight into tomorrow's election. Potentially, I don't think he'll be making any predictions, but he certainly can tell us what his polls are showing, and we can take it from there. And it should be an interesting day. This morning, the paper reported that over 30,000 Ulster County residents have already voted. I think that's terrific.
That's about a quarter of the, it's about 120,000 registered voters in Ulster County.
How many would normally turn out in a presidential election year?
60%, 70%.
About 80? About 80,000, 70 to 80?
No, I don't think that many. About half of 120, about 65,000.
So potentially almost half of the people who would vote in a presidential year have already voted.
What's also interesting, I think, is that of those 30,000 or so people who have voted in early voting, the Board of Elections reports that about a 5-to-1 ratio have been Democrats.
Wow.
So the early voters have been Democrats. So Republicans, by extrapolation, Republicans haven't, in large measure, although there's not that many of them.
Yeah.
They're outnumbered almost 2-to-1 now.
2-to-1 anyway, sure.
Yeah, but they haven't voted. So if there's going to be a surge, they'll have to come out.
Well,
tomorrow.
Also, for whatever the reason, the early voting polling places, 4 of the 5 early voting places were in Democratic concentrations. You have 1 in New Paltz, 1 in Woodstock, 1 in the city of Kingston,
1 in Ellenville,
and 1 in Ellenville. Those 4 are in Democratic territory. The only one that isn't is the one in Highland, which I thought was very interesting to have one in Highland right next to New Paltz and not someplace in Marlborough where there's a heavy Republican vote, or Shangum where there's a heavy Republican vote. Nothing out in the western part. Somebody...
No, Shangum, for instance.
West of the town of Ulster has to drive to the city of Kingston or to Woodstock to vote. So, yeah, and I understand that, and I'm kind of perplexed that the county legislature, I believe, approved and funded 8 early voting sites, and only 5 were opened. And I'm not sure why. I haven't heard anything. I haven't been able to figure out or...
Well, I think I have an idea why. The county legislature is majority Democrats. This is pure politics. Why would you set up, if you had the authority, why would you set up polling places for your opposition?
Well, I think the Board of Elections made the determination as to where the sites were. Thought we had a very embarrassing situation when Ulster County made the New York Post on Tuesday because there was some interest in increasing the hours, and evidently the Republican election commissioner was AWOL, supposedly in Boston, family business, whatever. But I it's kind of embarrassing when, and I'm not even sure how the New York Post would have been on this story. I think what's more interesting is who called the New York Post to let them know. Obviously, they don't have an Ulster County bureau the last time I checked. So
Mario,
somebody called
Mario,
and tipped them off.
Yeah, and Mario, in journalism, 90%, I believe, of news is fed to the media, and 10% discovered. And you're going to be sure probably somebody from Ulster County called that one in.
Well, somebody happened to know that
Somebody had to know that the
Republican election commissioner was in Boston
on family business at the height of election season.
And so that was kind of interesting.
He is retiring, by the way, January 1st. Maybe he just took an early leave.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, and I also saw that there was like an argument over whether or not they should expand the hours. I mean, people were waiting 2 to 2.5 hours to vote. They needed to have, in my opinion, all 8 voting locations open.
Yeah.
And they needed to increase the hours to accommodate the number of people. Having people vote early so they wouldn't have to go to the polls and be exposed to COVID on election day, only to have them waiting online for 2.5 hours and exposed to COVID pre-election day, in my opinion. I mean, part of it was early voting and making it convenient, and people couldn't always get off time on election day and things of that nature. But the other part was, I think I'll vote early so that I don't have to hit the big lines on election day, but there were big lines pre-election day. So,
well, I think some of this is hindsight. The year before they had early voting and they got a certain turnout, and maybe they based their strategy on that. As you indicate, perhaps not factoring in COVID and the political climate.
Yeah.
It's really bubbling out there. It'd be very interesting tomorrow, but I think there's another factor too. It hasn't been easy to vote in this state traditionally. One day a year for 15 hours, you get to vote, and then all of a sudden. Literally all of a sudden, a year ago, and let's give Democrats credit for this because they pushed it and Republicans opposed it, that they decided, perhaps in their own interests, because there's far more Democrats than Republicans have, we had to open up the system a little bit, make it more convenient to the voter. This is why the Board of Elections that's its job. Its calling is to help the voters. I mean, you're a dentist. You run an office. So you're there for the convenience of your patients, not your staff. We see. Quite frankly, I see a little bit of that in the commissioner being out of town during an election. I mean, that's why you're there. 50 weeks a year. I mean, I can't imagine taking, as a Freeman political reporter or editor, taking any time off in October, November.
Yeah.
This is.
Oh yeah.
This is the job.
I know. I would have to agree that there. I can't speak to why the Republican commissioner wasn't here, but it certainly was unfortunate that
well, in the immortal words of the late Mayor Peter Mancuso, let us not beat a dead horse to death.
Absolutely. And just to remind everyone, we're here in the studio, Mario Catalano, Hugh Reynolds. Our phone number is 331-9255. Again, 331-9255. Tomorrow is Election Day. We would love to, any of the listeners who are already awake and raring to go are welcome to call. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this election. And there's so much to speak about. We have so many races to discuss. So We'd love to hear your thoughts, though, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have. We're waiting for our first guest to call in, and that will be, we're expecting Dr. Levy from the Siena Polling Institute to call, and when he does, we're hoping to get an update. I know it's the day before election, and something may come up in his end, but right now, we're hoping for the best. So, let's why don't we talk about some of these? I have a question. I'd love to have your opinion on, and that is, how do you see the presidential election affecting our local elections? Do you think that this year there's going to be, because of the way the country has just openly split, that there is going to be that kind of an election locally as well, or do you see it any differently?
Excuse me. I think there'll probably be comparisons to 1974, which is, of course, ancient history for a lot of our listeners. I was a political reporter even then, and the notion of the Nixon scandals and resignation affecting local elections seemed, pardon the pun, quite foreign. What goes on in Washington couldn't possibly affect what goes on here. And for the Republican Party that year, locally, it was cataclysmic. Charlie Cook, for instance, the former state senator, told me that he was an assemblyman then, and he had run for assembly the year before, and had been overwhelmingly elected, and he was going door to door in '74. And people were telling him, people who had known him and his family for years, a type of people that were almost a lock, Republicans. And they were saying, they told him, Charlie, we like what you're doing, but we're not going to vote at all.
Wow.
This is our protest. We're not voting for anybody. They couldn't vote for a Democrat in Greene County, but they couldn't cast their ballot for a Republican because of Nixon. This is not exactly linear, but there will be an effect, and I think the effect may well be to suppress the Republican vote. The Republicans, I think they're disappointed. I can't speak for them. As you know, I'm the House Democrat, but
yeah.
I think they're disappointed in Trump on several levels, particularly. The tweets and the rest of the attacking people and calling people names. It's just not presidential. And although they may agree with a lot of his policy initiatives, and they may well vote with their feet and stay home, and that will have a profound effect on Republicans who are already on the run, as it were, in Ulster County. And it could be a dark day.
I mean, I think we
for Republicans.
I agree. I've had rock solid Republicans tell me that they have to think twice about the voting for the president, and that's pretty unusual, and that and then again, I think, and we have no polling to justify this thought, but I think we have probably 3 very tight Senate races. I think just based upon the amount of money that the Democrats are pouring into the Jen Metzger 42nd district, I think they're worried about that. Their polling must be showing that Martucci is doing well. You've got the Amador, the 46th district, Amador Hinchy, which no one knows what's going on, and then the Sereno Smythe on the other side of the river. But we have a caller, so good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. What I am very disgusted with is the news organizations all around this country. Here you got a story of a presidential candidate, son's laptop has him on it, have his son on it using, when he was vice president, political power to get deals and everything else, make money for the family. And the news organizations on the left side are not covering anything at all. And when you try putting it on Facebook or Twitter, they take it off. The news in this country has been slanted to the left for so many years now. I cannot understand why there's never been a good article on Trump that have been published in the papers in the last 4 to 5 years. And if you look at the Freeman, which is now becoming a lefty paper completely, look at the editorials that was in yesterday's paper. All of them on the left side of the column. And what's scary is you got the left saying that they're going to get rid of the filibuster. They're going to try to get rid of the Electoral College. They're going to bring in a couple more different states, which is going to be four more Democratic senators and stuff. This country is going to be in trouble, and I hate to see what the results of it's going to be. And I do vote. I vote every year. I don't care if it's a door catcher running. I get out there and vote because I'm a veteran of the military. I'm between active and reserve duty. I spent 21 and a half years in the service.
Thank you for your service, sir.
At that time, it was an honor to serve this country. Anymore, I'm not so sure what the rate of it going because the news organizations got so far to the left. It's not funny. I understand. Hey, Trump's got a big mouth. Trump says some things that he shouldn't have. But look at what he accomplished. And look way back in February and March when the virus hit. Where was the Democrats? They were saying it's not bad. Go to Chinatown down the city. Go to the theater districts. Go to the restaurants. Out in California, they said the same thing. Now all of a sudden, the talk is saying he did not act fast enough. He closed down China on the end of January and Europe early in February. They can't have it both ways.
Yeah, and what I think in terms of what occurred, when the COVID virus hit, is a very interesting phenomena. It's a prime example of why you need to be rational and not irrational about a particular elected office or elected person. What happened to the Democrats was they were in full resist mode.
Right.
It didn't matter what Trump, it wouldn't have mattered whatever Trump did for COVID, they were going to oppose. And what happened is it turned out that he was right on the banning the travel. But because they were in full court press on anything he did, they just went the other way. They got caught on that one. And now, unfortunately, this thing has continued to percolate. And I'm not sure that I would agree with everything that the president has done in handling this COVID. He's had diverse opinions. I think he made some mistakes. I'm not sure that there was anybody in the world, and as a matter of fact, there isn't anybody in the world except for totalitarian countries where we can't get any results. Right. But no one in the world has been able to figure out a way to shut this virus down.
Right. Yeah. So and they're blaming him for it and stuff. And hey, it was China, who Joe Biden has got a lot of deals with. His son's made millions of dollars from China, and now you want to put him in charge of this thing? And he's talking about things that he wants to accomplish. He had 47 years in service, 8 years as vice president, and he couldn't get nothing done, or he didn't do anything except line the pockets of his family. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. And you got Cuomo, who put COVID-positive patients back in nursing homes and now trying to hide the fact. And they trying to change the numbers to where some of them, they died in the hospital. They didn't die in the nursing. But where did they get it from? The nursing homes. And also, we got a governor that a number of years ago, there was 2 bills that was passed by this legislator that Curious Joe did not like. They lobbied Cuomo, got him to veto both bills, and lo and behold, a week later, he got $50,000 donations from the Curious Joe Foundation. And yet that has been so quiet, you don't hear the press or nobody else howling about that. But that did come out about 4 to 5 years ago, and nothing's been done. And that's where politics is getting to be totally disgusted. We need to have term limits to where these clowns cannot stay in and make a career out of it, living off the taxpayers' backs. And look at the retirement system and the health care benefits. Fine, if Medicare is so great, why don't they have it?
Caller, thank you for that rather sweeping analysis of what's wrong with the country. We have another caller coming in, so thank you. And
thank you. Hey, and like I said, I do vote, and I will be out there tomorrow morning. I vote on Election Day. I don't care. I'm there on Election Day.
Good for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
do I, by the way.
Have a great day.
All righty. Have a good one. Thanks for calling. And thanks for your impressions. Appreciate it. So you, as a member of the press, would you care to respond? The gentleman on the phone was indicating that the press has really gone to the left. They appear to be more news. News has become gray. It's become more opinionated, and again, you know, I've told you this.
Excuse me, were you asking for my opinion?
I'm asking for your opinion, but I was going to say that I've told you many times. People don't know the history, but Benjamin Franklin once had, when he was governor of Pennsylvania, had a newspaperman thrown in jail because he didn't like what he said. So this goes back many centuries. This opinion of the press goes back many centuries. But what do you think?
Well, what we have obviously is kind of a parallel press. We have right and left. The caller thinks the press is all, or suggested the press is all left wing. Well, there is Fox News, and if you want to flip the dial, you can hear something exactly the opposite of what you heard on CNN. So you can get a little whipsawed, back and forth. I watch. I surf both of them, I should say, and actually between them, I still don't get the whole story, which is disappointing. On a more serious note, I was always proud of my profession. Freedom of the press, the public's right to know. These were the foundations of what we were taught, and editors would severely impose those rules. If you as a reporter, if you let your opinion creep into a story, however subtly, you'd be called on the carpet pretty quickly, and they'd say things like, which I can't repeat. If you want to be an opinion writer, you can join the editorial board, or you can write a column, but you're not going to be doing it in news stories. People, I know from experience, people resent the press, so-called media, offering its opinion in these stories. As this caller commented, the last go round with the actually suppression of news, not just by the left, the right just pounded this Biden China connection, et cetera, et cetera. But then there was we're in a whole different ball game now. You've got big tech where people surf the tech for their news. A lot of it, I don't know what the number is, but it's probably far more than 50%.
My young kids tell me that's where they get all their news.
All the news. They don't read a newspaper. That's their choice. It's a free country. But when I was in the business, in the newspaper business, we offered all the opinions and all the positions. In fact, it was demanded of us as reporters. Talk to Catalano. He's the Republican chairman. Get his opinion on this, and we would. You didn't have to agree with it. That's gone out the window.
I see none of that in the local press.
No, the local press is an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Well, except for The Wire.
Yeah. No. I'm hoping that they are going to take this to a new level.
You know, it's interesting. Kevin Cahill, I think you mentioned. Didn't have much of a campaign.
Hold that until after the break. Yeah. Okay, Kevin Cahill, we're going to bring that back and take it away, Dan.
Okay, thank you, Mario Catalano and Hugh Reynolds. Thank you so much for this first quarter of our Monday, and KCR is Kingston Community Radio on AM 920 and 92.5 FM. My name is Dan Gatus, and it is Monday, November 2nd, 39 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. Weather and forecast for Kingston and the surrounding areas, at least for today. Snow showers this morning, possible. That's a 50% chance. Becoming partly cloudy later in the day, high 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies giving way to cloudy skies late. 20% chance of flurries possible overnight and a low of 32. And we'll be right back after these messages.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Snap a photo that captures the Hudson Valley's spectacular autumn scenery, and it could be your chance to win $500. Enter Central Hudson's 8th annual Fall Foliage Contest today. If your photo gets the most likes on our Facebook page, you win. Deadline to enter is by noon on November 6th. For contest rules and information on how to submit your photo, go to Central Hudson's Facebook page or visit centralhudson.com.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Greg Chorvis, and once again, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is asking you to help the needy this holiday season. For the last 50 years, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund has helped less fortunate families have a happier holiday. Look for our collection boxes at the local branches of the Ulster Federal Credit Union, Rondout Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, Ulster Savings Bank, and at the Kiwanis Ice Arena in Sorges. Thank you very much, and have a happy and Merry Christmas.
And you're here with us at KCR, Kingston Community Radio. Make sure you tune in on the 5th of November, all day, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are broadcasting live from Boyce Dairy Milk House, 62 O'Neill Street, for the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund. Join us. And we're here at KCR right now, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and 39 degrees on this Monday, November 2nd. And our call-in number is 331-9255. And let's get back to the on-air studio with Hugh Reynolds and Mario Catalano, sorry.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we continue with you, we do have an announcement, and teaming with Bike Friendly Kingston, the Bosch and Keegan, and O'Connor and Partners law firms, The YMCA of Kingston and Ulster County will be distributing bells and lights at a bicycle repair clinic on Wednesday, November 4th. Come to the Y parking lot on Pine Grove Avenue in Kingston between 3 and 5 p.m. to get a bell or lights or to have your bike checked over. Bike helmets will also be available. No advance registration required. The event is free, but donations are welcome. Be sure to bring your bike and wear a mask or other face covering when you come. In case of bad weather, the rain date is Thursday, November 5th, same time on November 5th. For more information, contact the YMCA bicycle educator, Tom Polk. His number is 845-338-3810, extension 102. All right.
YMCA bike educator. I think that's a good idea.
I think it's great.
Wonder why they haven't done that, considering the trend in Kingston seems to be to wipe out cars and bring on bikes. I offer Greenkill Avenue as an example.
Yeah.
They took a boulevard and turned it into a
bike lane.
Bike lane.
I know. It's kind of confusing. My biggest concern is when it snows and you can't see those lines. I think it's going to be pretty difficult to figure out where you park, where you ride your bike, and where you drive. But we have a caller.
Go to the caller.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I'd like to speak of what the other gentleman said about the pandemic. President Trump said it all on his tape to Bob Woodward that this was a dangerous disease, and he didn't want to tell the people about it. And at the same time, he was on television saying that this was nothing. There was only a few people. It was going to go away. He should have told the people the truth. He should have not fired the researchers that were always on staff. Other presidents had that warned of pandemics. He got rid of that whole department when he got it elected. So he's the big problem with the pandemic, and he still isn't telling the truth. Yesterday he was on TV saying that doctors get more money for treating pandemic patients, and that's why they say they got COVID, and they get $2,000 a patient for saying they treat COVID instead of something else. That's outrageous. I mean, how this man is not with it. I don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe the presidency is too much for him. I don't know, but people understand this. They see this, what he's doing. You have to tell the people the truth. The American people deserve the truth, and they didn't get it, and they're still not getting it. Scientists are right what's happening. They predicted it, and everything they say is true. If he would have given a mandate throughout the whole country to wear masks and to social distance a long time ago, we might not have the deaths we have now, and the pandemic is still going strong. So this is the truth. I am from a military and a law enforcement family, so I'm not saying this for any other reason, but this is what I've seen, and this is what's happened. You can't deny it. Bob Woodward had it on tape, and he's saying it yesterday at one of his rallies. That's ridiculous. The doctors are lying about what they're treating. Come on. Now, what do you think of that?
It sounds your discussion points are well taken. One of the things I will tell you is that some of the information that you've received has been manipulated just a bit. Okay, so just as an example, the one thing about President Trump is he's not a great communicator, and I'm the Republican here, and I'll tell you that. However, it is not the doctors that decide the cause of death. Someone in the hospital decides the cause of death. So what he said was incorrect. The doctors aren't doing it. However, the hospitals, if they treated COVID patients who died, did receive a higher reimbursement than if the cause of death was pneumonia. So many of the death certificates were labeled COVID related. So I guess what I'm saying is, I know that you think everything that you hear, and I don't know if you get your news on CNN or MSNBC or whatever. I know you think
I get my news from everybody.
Yeah, and I know you think that they're telling you the truth, but they're not telling you the truth either, because the example I just gave you is a prime example of them saying, turn in and around and say, Trump is abusing the doctors, he's insulting the doctors.
Well, he is.
He never said that. He said the doctors, but what he meant was the hospitals.
Yeah.
Okay, so it happens to be a fact of life that's happening. They're getting more money if the cause of death was COVID. So
he says they are. I mean that he's boxing them all in, the doctors, all the doctors, and that's terrible.
I completely understand that.
A service.
I completely understand that. But whoever told you that, okay, was
whoever told me what? I get my news direct.
Okay.
I don't,
All right.
I don't hear from. I heard right from the horse's mouth, the president.
Right.
And that's wrong. You don't accuse all the doctors of lying about what they treat. That's what you might as well say. He said the doctors. He didn't say certain doctors. He said the doctors.
I completely understand your point of view, and I agree with some of it. I disagree with other parts of it. But then again, that's why it's the United States of America.
Yes, and I trust the Dan Rathers and the Tom Brokers that have been respected journalists for 50 years, and they've never let us down. So they've never been questioned before. All of a sudden they're being, they're fake news. The fake news is on the internet. People should get their nose out of the internet and pay attention with journalists that have to prove what they say. They're called to task if they lie. But when you're on the internet, you can say whatever you please, and you're not responsible. So
I totally
there's
agree.
There's got to be something done with the internet.
Well, thank you for your service, and thank you for your call.
Thank you, sir. May God bless you.
All right, thank you. And we have another caller. Take it away.
Good morning. I would like to, say something too about Trump, with his handling of the virus. I felt, him saying that, he didn't want to get the people upset and panic and all this kind of stuff. The people needed to know about it, and I feel that they would have handled it correctly too if they had known. I think a lot of it was kept from them. And then also too, the things that he has said too about the virus and about, we're going to have this vaccine right away. Well, these vaccines got to be tested well, because you can't just give it to people if it is not safe. And, closing down some of the cities and stuff like that, we really need to keep the people safe. And him not wearing a mask, that was ridiculous. How he, exposed people to it, and then, making things about it and saying things about it. That was done to help people, not to, infringe on their rights or anything else like that. And then another thing, too, I feel in a lot of ways he is very racist. We've had more hate crimes done since he's been in office than any other president. And then saying that Mexicans, they're all drug dealers and rapists and murderers.
He never said that, ma'am. He never said that. What he said, among the people who were coming across the border, there were rapists and drug dealers, etc., and for that he was correct.
Some of them were. Not all of them. You don't brand them all.
He didn't brand them all. He said among the people coming across the border. And I think that fact has been proven itself to be true with the amount of crime that has occurred and the number of folks that were sent across the border to avoid charges in Mexico came to this country, and they were released into the country. So please, if I can understand your point on the first part. I agree with you wholeheartedly. He should have worn a mask. He should have set a better example. But please don't put words in his mouth. He does well enough on his own.
Doesn't need any
I
help.
know he does say stuff he
doesn't.
say.
He doesn't need any help. Now, thank you for your call. We appreciate everybody's point of view.
And we
We
hope
have
that
another
people
caller.
do go out to vote, and that. Okay, there's one other thing I want to talk about too. Okay, if he loses, it's all going to be crooked. But if he wins, it's not crooked.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that he thinks the Bidens are crooked?
No, he thinks that it's going to be a crooked election if he loses.
If he
That's
loses.
what she's saying.
Oh, I see.
And
Yeah.
if he wins and it's not crooked,
Yeah, that's pretty un-American, isn't it?
There's
what's
never
your feelings
been
about
there's
that?
never been a crooked election in this country. Ask Richard Nixon.
You could ask Rutherford B. Hayes.
Right. When they stuffed the ballot box in Chicago, and all of a sudden Kennedy won. But all right. Anyway, thank you for your call. We do have another caller. We certainly appreciate it.
Okay, take care and have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
You're on the air.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mario. And you, Reynolds. Len Bernardo here. How are you?
Hey, Len Bernardo, our Independence Party representative. You're not a chairman anymore, correct?
No, we have not constituted the party probably for a year and a half to 2 years now.
All righty. So,
But I'm on the executive team now, so that's a little fun. But we are fighting for our political line, as you guys know.
oh yeah,
Well-
everybody's fighting. I think the governor would love to get rid of all of you guys.
Yeah.
Now, to be honest with you.
No, I think you're right. You know, it's funny. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you guys, and I remember not too many years ago there was a Republican chairman that I upset because I asked a bunch of Republican local officials to meet Cuomo, and you got pretty upset when that happened. But the long and the short of it is that it wasn't that long ago when we could sit down and talk about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really turned the corner quickly. So I wanted to call on this day before Election Day to get you guys have any predictions? Have you talked about this stuff? I only got on at 7:30. You talked about the Dyson's cookie war? Do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, we do.
And by the way, Huey covers this in his blog this morning. What is your blog address, if folks who want to read that?
Hugh Reynolds' blog.
Hugh Reynolds' blog. That's
Yeah,
it.
just Google it.
Beautiful. Google.
Assuming Google hasn't taken me down.
Yeah.
I actually vote for that. And I view it like your Christmas list when your blog comes out every couple of days or whenever you do it. But I want to thank you guys for doing what you're doing. I just wanted to step up and really kind of say, I mean, this woman, you could see earlier that's what the divide is. People are untrusting, and we have to get back to that trust and the political things that we used to do, and whether they were slightly Machiavellian or not. We used to talk about stuff. And I don't know where it's gone.
That was a good line, Len. Slightly Machiavellian.
Hey. So, but anyway, let's. We're working on a $200,000, 200,000 votes with Brock Pierce, and we'll see where we go.
Yeah. Well, good luck with getting the requisite number of votes to stay on the ballot.
Yeah.
I think there are a number of parties that may have a problem with that. I think the one he wants to really get rid of is the Working Families Party, but
yeah,
I think everybody got caught up in that. He couldn't figure out a way of how to get rid of them without getting rid of the rest of you guys.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly how I think it went down. The Cynthia Nixon thing really blew him out of the water, and with the Working Families. But, hey, time goes on. We'll see if we hold, and if not, I'll become an unenrolled or maybe a Democrat. I don't know.
Well, we'll bring you over to the Republican side. What the heck?
Well, that too, maybe. Who knows? But anyway.
Keep peace in
I'll
the
talk to you
family.
guys later. You stay well, and thanks for the radio show.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Len.
So just speaking of politicians, I have another announcement, and that is Kingston Mayor Steve Noble will be the featured speaker at the Chamber's next virtual breakfast meeting from 9 to 10 a.m. on November 12th. The event will be sponsored by United Healthcare. Will be broadcast live on the Chamber Facebook page from the venue uptown at Best Western Plus. Radio Kingston will provide technical support. So those of you who follow politics, the Chamber breakfast on November 12th will feature Mayor Steve Noble. You were saying about 25 minutes ago.
What was I saying?
You were talking about the Cahill thing, but that's interesting. I mean, that's an interesting race. I am the former Republican chairman. I never heard of his opponent. I've never spoken to his opponent.
You mean Rex
Bridges.
Bridges, yeah.
I haven't seen his opponent. I'm not sure exactly why the gentleman's in the race, but
I think he's not unusual in this respect, Mario. He is what I don't mean this in a bad way. What we used to call a one-trick pony, in that he has one issue that I've seen. I mean, I've heard from him and read about some of the things that he stands for. He's a pro-life supporter, and that's his issue, and that's his platform. And of course, Cahill is very much pro-choice, and that's the issue. And he gets his name out there, as it were. He gets heard, and that's what he does. If he gets, the late Maurice Hinch used to say, anybody can run against me and get 35% of the vote. And if several thousand, tens of thousands of people vote for him, just to.
And he brings the issue to light.
To the fore, to be discussed.
Forces a discussion.
Because depending on how the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court, takes up Roe versus Wade again, it will probably, the issue will revert, it's assumed, to the states, and then we'll go through that whole process again. I don't think it'll change in New York, but
I think New York has already made it part of the Constitution here, so I think it's...
yeah, they've it's either the Constitution or it's been put into law.
Yeah, it's
it'll be a more difficult process.
Nothing's going to change in New York.
But it will be thoroughly discussed. Just reverting to Cahill for a moment, what I was beginning to say was with no credible opponent, Rex hasn't even filed a campaign spending report, which means that he has spent less than $1,000. At least says he has.
Right.
Cahill took out an ad in the Freeman, by the size of a fairly expensive ad, where he expressed concern about the press, about the I think he used the word extinction, that the press as we know it, and I think he was referring to print. Across the board, print is in serious trouble. Freeman circulation is half of what it used to be. I don't think that's unjustifiable. But in any case, so he takes his campaign money. He doesn't have to spend anything, actually.
Absolutely.
And he puts out an ad asking people to support the local press. There was a time when Cahill and the local press didn't support each other, and but apparently he's moved on.
Well, I was impressed that he hasn't raised a ton of money He's been very modest in his fundraising activities, unlike Senator Metzger, who's raised $1 million for a Senate seat. He's probably hasn't spent 60 or 70,000, which I think is a fair amount for an assembly seat and an assembly district. I think you can cover the district with that. You don't have to blanket them nonstop, like they're getting ads every day and publications every day. I mean, it's just
You're referring to the
ground, some of the other races, yeah.
To the Hinchy
Amador race, yeah.
Amador race, yeah. We'll talk about that in some detail.
Yeah. So Len wanted a prediction, so I am going to go out on a limb and predict a Cahill victory in the 103rd.
Okay.
All right.
Final answer.
I think I'm very confident in that assessment. I think I can virtually guarantee it, unless there's a lot of fraudulent voting going on.
Actually, I thought Cahill was going to be. I thought Cahill was going to beat Guerin in '94, and I
Cahill was beating Guerin until the Friday before the election.
For your information, listeners, Catalano was Guerin's campaign manager.
He was my brother-in-law.
He was his brother-in-law.
Full disclosure, he was an excellent candidate. I thought he was an excellent assemblyman. I think he should have stayed in the assembly for a little longer, and he came out to challenge Bonasek in a Republican primary for the Senate, and it was a mistake, but you learn,
Well, he hasn't been back since.
No. I completely understand that, and but yeah, we had a very tough race, and we pulled it out at the very end. On Friday before, our polling showed us down 4 points.
Wow.
Friday before the election, so we had 4 days to pull it out.
Typically, in my experience with these late breaks in local politics, it's the Democrats that have surged on the last weekend, and then in this case, the Republicans did.
Well, we had an issue that we were getting ready to exploit. I don't really think it's necessary to get into it. It was 1994. Yeah. It had to do with Kevin supporting burning of the American flag, and so we dropped a piece on Monday morning to everybody in Ulster County that had a veterans exemption on their.
I think you and Guerin got a real break by having Mario Cuomo at the top of the ticket.
And absolutely, there was a tremendous anti-Cuomo sentiment at that time, and eventually it's going to build. I think with his son. He has a lot of resentment inside the Democratic Party. They've challenged him. Democrats have challenged him twice in the last 2 elections. The Working Families Party, which is very heavily Democratic, hates this guy. And eventually, he wrote another book. I thought it was very interesting. The first book he wrote sold 3,700 copies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. First book, 3,700 copies. You can buy it online for probably about 50 cents right now. And the new book, he's been out, promoting the new book, doing all the stops, the whistle stops, etc. And the new book tripled that and sold 10,000 copies.
That'll be the headline.
A state with 17 million people. I don't think that's so bad. But in any event, and then he's trying to figure out how to wheedle out of the drastic and disastrous mistake of putting folks with COVID back in nursing homes. So we have just a few minutes, but we have another caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, you. Good morning, Mario. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Thank you.
Hey, Mario, I want to remind you of one of the high points of the campaign, the debate at New Paltz College at the Student Union Center.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember who was sitting right behind you?
Were you throwing tomatoes at Kevin? I don't remember.
I was sitting right behind you. This is Ed Gaddy.
I know it is. Good morning, Ed.
I was sitting here, things got a little bit heated, and some kids were getting up and they were yelling stuff at you. I don't know if you remember. You stood up and gave it right back to them. 3 college students versus Mario Catalano, and you beat them. And my wife was sitting behind me. My wife likes a good scrap. My wife looks around. Things were getting a little loud, and she goes, "Maybe it's time to go home."
Yeah, we
That's
spirited John out of that out of that place rather hastily. The students were getting a little energetic. Let's just say.
Well, that was Cahill Country, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was pretty loud, but he pulled it off. That was a banner year. You're right. Having Pataki on the ticket. Pataki ran that year, and Mario was enormously unpopular.
Oh, especially in this area.
Oh yeah, and because I was an early Pataki supporter, and he went 3 terms, and nobody ever goes 4. So let's see what happens with Andrew next time.
Yeah, I think Andrew's looking for maybe a slot in the new administration, the Biden administration, getting himself, a position of prominence, something that can springboard him.
Hopefully they won't put him in charge of HUD again. You know what happened the last time?
Yeah. All right, Ed, we've got to go to break, and thank you for the call, and thank you for the memories.
Yep, you guys be well. Take care of you.
All righty.
Yep.
All right, take it away, Dan.
Okay, and thank you, Mario, and thank you, Hugh. And many thanks to all the callers today. Thank you so much for calling in. 3319255 is your phone number to call in to us. Hugh Reynolds and Mario Catalano today. And KCR is Kingston Community Radio, airing on AM 920 and 92.5 FM and streaming online at mykcr.org. Monday, November 2nd, 39 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by Central Hudson. And weather and forecast for Kingston and the surrounding areas today: snow showers this morning, possible, 50% chance, becoming partly cloudy later, high of 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies giving way to cloudy skies late, and it's 20% chance of flurries possible overnight, low of 32. And Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, 20% chance of flurries or snow showers possible, a high up to 44. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, a low down to 28. But Wednesday, sunny skies with a high up to 55. And Wednesday night, clear skies, low down to only 39. And we will be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM. And also online at mykcr.org.
Snap a photo that captures the Hudson Valley's spectacular autumn scenery, and it could be your chance to win $500. Enter Central Hudson's 8th annual Fall Foliage Contest today. If your photo gets the most likes on our Facebook page, you win. Deadline to enter is by noon on November 6th. For contest rules and information on how to submit your photo, go to Central Hudson's Facebook page or visit centralhudson.com.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing.
Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Nina Postupak. Once again, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is asking you to help the needy this holiday season. For the last 50 years, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund has helped less fortunate families have a happier holiday. Look for our collection boxes at the local branches of the Ulster Federal Credit Union, Roundout Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, Ulster Savings Bank, and at Cantine Field and Saugerties. Thank you and have a happy Christmas.
And thank you for being with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. It is 8:03 a.m., And it's our Monday, November 2nd, one day before Election Day, and 39 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. The upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Herzog's. Herzog's Home and Paint Centers. Community, family, and neighborhood all matter. Herzog's employees have been a part of the Herzog's family for years, valuing personal customer service and being close to the community. Discover the difference of buying local. Sales ongoing at herzogs.com. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Hugh Reynolds and Mario Catalano. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. And it's time. It's 8:04, and it's time to do our birthdays. So today, November 2nd, we have 2 birthdays to celebrate. So please wish a happy birthday to Rosemarie Maresca from your friends at Hurley Perlas. And please wish a happy birthday to Anna Brett from your friends at People's Place. We hope you enjoy your special day. And let's have the drawing now for the winner. And the winner, today's birthday winner of the famous cow pie is Anna Brett. And that cow pie comes courtesy of the Boys Dairy Milk House and Kingston Community Radio. So Anna Palazzo Brett, we wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Anna Palazzo Brett. What a beautiful name, Anna Palazzo. She was one of the first subscribers when she first came to Kingston, one of the first subscribers to the Ulster County Gazette. And
now you gave away my sources.
And it was just a beautiful Italian name, and she married a guy named Brett.
Wow. Well, I can appreciate that. I married a woman named Guerin.
Yes.
And I had a beautiful Italian name.
You still do.
All right, so we have a caller. Good morning, caller. You're with Mario Catalano and Hugh Reynolds. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I was asked to call in about 8:30 today and talk about my experience about the Trump rally yesterday and how it all started and stuff. So.
Yes, I just let me, by way of background, there was a rather large Trump caravan yesterday in Kingston.
Yes.
And we were just wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about it. I hadn't heard anything about this until a member of my family decided to ride in it, and so thank you. What can you tell us? What was the inspiration for this? I know it took place out at the Burlington Factory Mall, and I guess that was the jumping off point, but you guys have been out there just about every weekend, haven't you?
Yeah, for about 3.5 months. And how it started was a man we will call Ray. He called me up and said, I didn't vote for Trump in 2016, but we have to vote him in. Is there any way I can help to get him elected? So what happened was, I tried to give him some places Trump where people are rallying for Trump, and then he called back and he said, "I'm going to start a rally, and I need your help." He was definitely afraid of the other side coming in and causing problems, and the first week we started at Angela's Pizza over on 9W. And about 3 people showed up, and then 5 people showed up the second week. And the second week, we were asked to move from there because of people calling in to the Angelo Pizzas and trying to silence us. That's the way I look at it. So we went, and next week we went down to Burlington Coat Factory and been there ever since. And as you see, it grew and grew and grew. You know.
Yeah. How many? Give me an approximation. How many people? How many cars did you have?
Well, I'd say between 300, That's just an estimate. I'm going as low as I'm going low. So I don't like to exaggerate that, because
Okay.
it's important to us that we rally people, to vote for Trump tomorrow.
And you did a caravan all through Kingston. I understand you went to Kingston Plaza and.
Yep, we went through Kingston and then down 9W and then to Cantines Field where there was a rally and speakers and it was quite a few people there. It was, I'd say, close to 400, 500, 600 people maybe.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not good at big crowds, but.
Was there a point when some people representing Black Lives Matter confronted the Trump people at that rally?
Yes. They weren't with us. They didn't come against us or to protest us until about 3 weeks ago, where it got, we had bits and pieces and people throwing stuff out of cars at us and spitting on us and throwing coffee and stuff. And I don't want to be into that because I fell victim to their tactics and gave in and I said some things that I shouldn't have said. And, you know how it gets to you in the moment. But they started coming. They started coming about 3 weeks ago. And they tried to take over the corner, and we just kept doing our thing. They tried to entice us to fighting with them, which some of us started yelling and screaming at them too. We're only human beings. But the fact of the matter is this: we were facing 9W, trying to rally people around Trump. They were standing in the medium between Burlington, where you go in and out of Burlington, and then that little mall. Standing there yelling, we're racist and this and that. And then the Freeman comes 1 week, and they get a picture of me with a bullhorn on the front page, or in the Freeman or wherever it was. I saw it online, and I was yelling and screaming. I looked horrible. But they never took the picture. They never took the picture of them shouting, "F Trump, you're a racist, you're this, you're that," and everything else. But and then the next following week we fell victim to it. And the next week we built a wall, we called it, with boxes and put signs over.
Build a wall.
They tried to do it, but then Saturday there was probably 110 people on the sidewalk, estimating, and when we're closing down, taking the crane down, taking the big American flag down that Benson Steel crane had donated and allowed us to salute our flag. And if you looked on the other side, there was no American flags over on that side. Because to me, they hate America. But they have a right to be here just as we do. But it was not good Saturday because they sent their kids over, and then the kids pointing his phone in my face and stuff. And I just went to knock his phone, and then I'm abusing the kid. That's their tactic. They try to get you going, and then they're the victim, and for me, and play it all out of Trump people. The Trump people are the most loving, caring people. I met so many people out there. I can't tell you.
Okay, Ray.
Home for the country.
He's getting emotional.
So I
Yeah.
get emotional.
Yeah, Ray, it's obviously an emotional thing for you.
Be a little baby. But anyway, I never done anything like this in my life. I'm so glad I did, though.
Well, Ray, thanks so much for sharing that experience with us and sharing it with the listeners.
And my man Ray, I just want to say this one last thing. My man Ray, as we call him, he was the most kindest, loving spirit. Tried to keep us apart. 70-year-old man. 70-year-old man did this. In the 70s did this, and he started it. Didn't vote for Trump in 2016, and I want to say, I want to give all praise and glory and honor to God because this is a spiritual war. Jesus Christ is my Savior, and Donald Trump is my president. Thank you.
Thank you, Cliff. Appreciate the call.
And thank you, sir. Thank you for asking me to come on.
All
Have
righty.
a great day. Yep.
Yes, I asked Cliff to give us just a little history about what had happened, and because it didn't get very much coverage, and they had Kingston tied up yesterday everywhere. They were assisted. There were state police that were at various intersections.
Yeah, Phyllis and I rode by the plaza.
I just wanted to hear more about it. I just didn't know. I didn't know very much about what had occurred, and I thought we would share that with our listening audience this morning. Before we get into this presidential race, I just want to make we have another announcement, and that is from the Bat Buddies. So the announcement is, hello, Bat Buddies. Bat-O-Ween 2020 is back. October 31st, 1 to 3 p.m. I guess it already occurred. So
anybody wants to call in and tell us how well it went.
Yeah.
Bat-O-Ween.
Yeah,
that was
Bat-O-Ween.
That was Saturday night, I guess, huh?
All right.
Yeah.
So, in any event, we missed that one. We apologize, Bat-O-Ween folks. But if you want to call in and let us know how it worked out, we'd love to hear it.
I think it was kind of a sad Halloween. I can only speak from our neighborhood, but I look forward to Halloween all year long. Not for myself. I don't get dressed up or anything, but for the kids that come to our house. And I just enjoy the costumes and the little tykes and the parents and all that. We had 2 kids come by from the same family, and we had all this candy, which we had to eat, of course. And I don't know if I live in Midtown Kingston. I don't know if it was different in other areas, but I think a lot of parents probably kept their kids home because of the exposure and things. And I think a lot of families may not have welcomed children on their doorsteps this year because of the COVID.
Even the politicians aren't going door to door. So yeah, it's unfortunate. We had no children come to our house, and I foolishly bought a case of healthy stuff to give away at Sam's Club, and I guess I'm going to have to kill it. I'm going to have to do it myself. But I hear you.
You want to talk about cookies?
Yeah. So and we did have a request. We wanted to find out how the Dyseen's Bakery presidential cookie challenge went.
This has been, according to Dyseen's, Dyseen's Bakery in Uptown Kingston, has been a harbinger of presidential elections since 1992, and that their cookie contest has picked every president. Some are probably easier than others. I got interested in it about a month ago when I saw it posted, prominently posted over the cash register in the bakery section of the restaurant. And at that time, to my surprise, Trump had a substantial lead over Biden. I think probably 55-45, with maybe 1,200 votes. 1,200 votes. The votes were the cookies. You could buy a cookie with either Trump's face on it or Biden's face, and then that sale was registered.
Right.
And I followed it for the whole month. I think I reported 3 times, and the last time in my blog on this morning, that Biden had closed the gap fairly substantially. He was initially down by about 150, and the final totals had about 2,100, 2,200 votes with cookies.
That's a lot of cookies.
250 each. That's a lot of cookie, and Biden had apparently surged at the end because he was only down by about 70.
My goodness.
Probably some more bad news.
I
for
would call
Republicans.
that within the margin of error, though.
I would think so.
Yeah.
With 2,000. So that was interesting, particularly since
But they're still selling cookies today, right? I mean,
well, they are, but yeah, and I'll give a final report next week.
let's give that final report because I think that surging that's going on might be indicative of what's going to happen with this election.
Yeah, and we'll see.
I think I don't know how are you feeling about this this presidential election? It's just so difficult to to believe the polls. First of all, they were grossly inaccurate in 2016. So now the question is, what changes did they make?
Well, Don Levy, when he was on here, was it in October? Was it late September when we had him?
Yeah.
He was our first guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the end of September. And we questioned him quite pointedly about, you guys screwed up 4 years ago. What'd you miss? What happened? What's your analysis? And what have you done to change it or to get it more accurate, which is the whole purpose of a poll. I mean, why would you buy a poll or believe a poll that you didn't trust? It's all about trust. And Levy acknowledged that without the public confidence in these polls, which is tenuous, to be kind, then they're useless. He admitted, as other pollsters have, that they just didn't didn't or couldn't get in touch with Trump supporters. Either the Trump supporters, unlike this previous caller who was out there, on a cold, windy, rainy day, supporting his candidate, that they didn't get hold of these people. And therefore, their views were not reflected in the polls, and therefore the polls were wrong, as you said. So how do they go about? If anything, I would think that the positions, in fact, have hardened on both sides. I would think it'd be even more difficult this year to get a Trump supporter to commit to what amounts to a public opinion.
I saw an interesting statistic, and that was that it takes a pollster 100 phone calls to reach 8 people who are willing to answer the questions. So right off the bat,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's nationwide. And I know for a fact that I don't have a house phone, so when my cell phone rings, if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer it. So I'm never going to be polled, Although I did manage to get polled by the ABC. I answered because they texted me, and I answered a text poll, and I knew it was the ABC poll because I saw the results on ABC a couple of days later. Mm-hmm. So I did get polled once. But the facts are that, in my opinion, there's a real breakdown in terms of what type of an organization has to call 100 people to get an 8% response. That's very, very costly, which is one of the reasons why the polls are polling so few people. And of course, the fewer the people that you poll, the more prone you are
to error.
Yeah, to error. And I can understand it. It would be a monstrous undertaking to try and, to do a large poll if you're only getting 8 out of 100 people answering.
Well, I think also in terms of their political views, I think most people consider their political views, much less how they voted or would vote, a very private matter.
You're right.
And they're not going to. They may not tell their own families how they're going to vote, much less some stranger on the phone.
However, this year, according to the polls that were released yesterday and the consensus, Biden's ahead by 8 points. And that's I mean, they can be off a little. I don't think they'd have to be off by 10 points for Trump to win.
Yeah, but I think that's misleading, and I think it probably drives the vote in this sense. People who know anything about history and about the Constitution or pay any kind of attention understand that a presidential election is not a nationwide election. It's a state-by-state election. And the media has been pretty good, I think, pretty responsible in that sense of pointing out repeatedly the so-called battleground states, but they are critical. You can carry California by 4 million votes. You can carry New York by 2 million votes.
Yeah.
And take all those electoral votes. But the so-called flyover zones have electoral votes also, and Michigan and Pennsylvania and Arizona. We all know what are the battleground states. In those states, they come into play with the Electoral College. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by I think 4 or 5 million.
Yeah.
And yet she was barely close. She wasn't even
reflected
close.
the actual polling.
She reflected the polling. So if the polling is, people like to vote for winners, or if they get discouraged, they won't vote at all. So to have Biden up 8%, and it's probably accurate. He may take say 8 points. That would be roughly 54% of the vote, of the overall vote. But it's where that vote comes down. I mean, you take a state like Michigan with millions of people by 50,000 votes, and you get all their electoral votes. So that's at play tomorrow. And if people are, I see both sides extremely concerned about the outcome, particularly Democrats. I mean, Democrats should be absolutely joyous with an 8-point lead going the day before election. It should be over.
Absolutely.
And yet it's they understand them. And so do the pollsters. They understand that what counts is that electoral college. That will be. And as far as eliminating the electoral college, that's been discussed for years and years and years. It was one of the key compromises of the Constitution itself to bring the smaller states, Delaware as an example, into the Union. That they wanted that protection.
The electoral college, essentially 5 states will decide who the president's going to be. Yeah. California, Illinois, New York, Texas, and Florida. That's it. The other 45 states need not even vote. I mean, and that is the argument. I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm not saying I'm against it. But I am going to make a prediction on this election. And my prediction is going to be that we are not going to know who won for at least a week.
That's happened before.
I know. I'm just saying that I think with the number of absent, Pennsylvania is critical. With the number of mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania alone, it'll take them a week. Some states are not even going to start counting until 5 days after the election, and I think the critical states, and with the number of absentee ballots being cast and the amount of time it's going to take to count those ballots, I can't even see. I'm not even sure we're going to know a week later.
I think a key indicator, and I'm just.
And I'm not even gonna throw in all the lawsuits that are gonna be flying.
The lawyers
got to make some money here, you know.
Yeah, they got to.
Your son's a lawyer, and I apologize, but
you're a tax lawyer, not an elections lawyer.
Well, you know,
lawyer's
a lawyer.
Piggybacking 60 Minutes, which we watch religiously, they did a piece on Arizona, and Arizona's solid Republican. I think one Democrat. One presidential candidate has won Arizona in 50 years. They have early balloting, but they count their ballots as they come in.
Oh, that's good.
And they will be, I think they close the polls at 8 o'clock at night in Arizona. And they will be announcing those results, the absentee results, or I should say the early voting results, fairly early in the news cycle.
I don't understand why everybody doesn't do that. Why? You've got the time. We have 30,000 votes already. Why aren't they running them through a machine here and counting them?
Statute. They're not allowed to open those. They're not allowed to count until Election Day.
Wow.
It's not a good law. It should be. Mm-hmm. I think it should be changed. But if Arizona goes to Biden, to a Democrat, they think that's the party's over.
The party's over. Okay, we have a caller. Good morning, caller.
She'll probably call back right after the break.
Okay.
She had a quick announcement to make, but
all right.
I lost her.
Do I have time for a quick announcement, or should I wait until after?
Let's wait till after. We'll just do our break right on time, and then get back.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you so much, and thanks for the calls in during this quarter. It's now at the bottom of the hour, and you're with us on Kingston Community Radio, KCR at AM 920 and 92.5 FM, WGHQ. It's Monday, November 2nd, 43 degrees now here in Uptown Kingston. Because the colors and quality of paint you choose matters, Herzog's Paint and Design Center in the Kingston Plaza is there for you, offering the largest selection of Benjamin Moore paints and the area's most complete line of painting supplies. Herzog's Paint and Design Center also provides color samples from Benjamin Moore paints, including the eco-friendly Aura line. Color decorating consultants and expert interior designers are there always, ready to assist you in choosing the right colors. Visit Herzog's in the Kingston Plaza and visit them at herzogs.com. Mid-Hudson Valley weather and forecast. Possible snow showers this morning, then becoming partly cloudy later today. High 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies giving way to cloudy skies late. 20% chance of flurries possible, and it's a low of 32. Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, 20% chance of flurries or snow showers possible, with a high of 44. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, a low of 28. Wednesday, sunny skies, high near 55, and Wednesday night, clear skies, low to 39. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed, support causes that matter, change lives, change communities, change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
You care for the house, the kids, and our future. A Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now. Get free tips to help boost your retirement savings. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Snap a photo that captures the Hudson Valley's spectacular autumn scenery, and it could be your chance to win $500. Enter Central Hudson's 8th annual Fall Foliage Contest today. If your photo gets the most likes on our Facebook page, you win. Deadline to enter is by noon on November 6th. For contest rules and information on how to submit your photo, go to Central Hudson's Facebook page or visit centralhudson.com.
This is Greg Chorvis, and once again, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund is asking you to help the needy this holiday season. For the last 50 years, the WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund has helped less fortunate families have a happier holiday. Look for our collection boxes at the local branches of the Ulster Federal Credit Union, Rondout Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, Ulster Savings Bank, and at the Kiwanis Ice Arena in Saugerties. Thank you very much, and have a happy and Merry Christmas.
And don't forget to tune in 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. this Thursday, November 5th, Boyce's Dairy Milk House for our WGHQ Happy Christmas Fund Drive. A lot of fun, many, many hosts and guests coming in. Changes up about every half hour, and we've got about 30 people coming in to Boyce's Dairy Milk House for the festivities. And today is Monday, November 2nd, and this upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. WGHQ is 920 on your AM dial and 92.5 FM. 331-9255 is our call-in number. Please call in. And today is with Mario Catalano and Hugh Reynolds. And let's get back to the on-air studio for this last half hour. Welcome back.
Yo.
And thank you. So you, one of the things I was hoping we could do in the last half hour or so is maybe predict or suggest or wonder about some of these races. So one of the races we haven't discussed it at all is the Skoufis race. He's running against a gentleman by the name of Steve Brescia. I don't think it's a serious threat to Senator Skoufis at all. And I'll tell you how I'm basing it solely on the fact that the Senatorial Campaign Committee gave Metzger $350,000 and they gave Skoufis nothing. So I'm assuming that their polling is showing that he is comfortably ahead, or they would be pouring money in like it would be another $1 million race.
But it's also showing that they have serious concerns about holding the Metzger seat.
Yeah, well, they're concerned. Their polling's probably not showing that she's doing very well. They never would be spending that amount of money. I checked virtually all of the races, and she's the only one that got a huge contribution from the senatorial committee. They don't have to spend the money in New York City, where they dominate, because they don't have any races. They don't spend any money, so they've got to spend it on the upstate districts. But they didn't give much to Hinchy. They didn't give much to Smythe. They didn't give much to Skoufis, but
didn't give anything to Skoufis.
But Metzger, a lot of money. So we have a call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. This is kind of after the fact. I just wanted to tell you that we were told here in Ulster County that they are not allowed to start counting the absentee ballots until 10 days after the election.
I believe that's accurate.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, I believe that's accurate, madam. You may recall last year in an extremely tight race for district attorney, where on election night it was 100 votes, if that, and I think Kavanaugh was ahead, and they didn't.
And then the absentee ballots changed that. And then
the absentee ballots changed that. Yep.
It went back and forth for a while.
Yep. It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? But that's them's the rules.
We are not going to know who won because they have pushed absentee ballots this year. There are many more absentee ballots this year than in the past. So we are not going to know for 2 weeks who won in this state.
Well, I'm going to change my prediction that we're not going to know for 2 weeks. I thought it would be a week.
No, because you have to get that 10 days. You have to get those absentee ballots.
Just to even start. Yeah. You're right, madam.
And there are going to be a lot of races.
That's my prediction, Hugh, is that we are not going to know for at least 2 weeks who won.
Wow. Well.
But I'll kill myself tomorrow working the election, and then we'll sleep for 2 weeks.
I'll see you at the polls. Mario and I will vote in person, not because we're old guys, but I enjoy seeing my neighbors in line at the polling place, and we chat. And while we wait our turn, and the ladies with the ledgers, they can never seem to find my name right away, and they double check my signature.
It's an experience.
It's an experience. Yeah, it's a
I
real
like
part of
that.
Americana.
I like that. Yeah.
It's a privilege and a right to vote, but that's part of the experience. Sitting at home filling out a ballot is a choice that
I
people
don't think
have
I've
made.
ever voted absentee.
Me neither. And voting early before all the information is in, things can change a lot in the last 10 days of an election.
Sure.
As Mario pointed out, when in '94, when he was running John Garen's assembly campaign, it was the last weekend that his candidate surged, and that can happen. And if you voted 2 weeks before, tough luck. If you want to change your mind, and I'm not crazy about the idea of going back in and changing your mind either. I think you cast your ballot, that's your ballot.
By the way, the number one Google search after the last debate.
They only get to do that with the hanging chads in Florida.
Yeah, there you
That was
go.
funny, yeah.
The after the last debate, the number one search on Google was "How do I change my vote?" Now I'm not sure which way that was going, but that was the number one search, and in some states you can.
Yeah.
Well, the thing of it is that if you did vote as absentee and you've already sent it in, if you go to the polls and vote for person, that negates your absentee ballot.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So
Okay.
that would be a way to change your vote if you
If you so chose, yeah.
but that would be the only honest way that I know how to do that.
Yes, hopefully we can keep this honest. Absolutely, we agree.
So anyway,
Thank you for
we
that
have
piece
to
of information.
spend a lot of time in prayer tonight, and may God's man win.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your input.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Okay, we were talking about
Talking about the races, we covered the Scoofus. In the 41st District over in Dutchess County, we have Sue Serino and Karen Smythe. That's a redo of a previous election.
of less than 600 votes.
And
Margin.
in terms of, I checked their fundraising, they're about equal on the fundraising front. So that could be anybody's. In my opinion, that's a complete toss-up.
Also, yeah.
And maybe there's a little drop down from the top of the ticket. If Trump's running well in that district, maybe Serino pulls it out. If Biden's running well in the district, maybe Smythe pulls it out. I think that's too close to call, in my opinion. In terms of the Metzger race in the 42nd district, I cannot imagine how you go up against a $1 million war chest in a small senatorial district and how you beat a $1 million war chest. I'm sorry. This is a case where I think money's going to speak.
Money will be heard, but the dynamics are that Metzger lives on almost on the border of her district. She's not in the central, and power in that district is in Orange County. This is an Orange County district, and this is an Orange County candidate. This is not to promote the Republican candidate, but that's the reality. Which
But she's already won in that district twice, I believe.
no, she's won once. She's a freshman, and
Okay.
Freshmen are uniquely vulnerable to challenge because they haven't really established themselves yet. They've only been in office for 2 years, and
There was a very interesting dynamic on the in the fundraising, and that was that she's the chairman of the agricultural committee, Kevin Cahill's the chairman of the insurance committee in the assembly. The majority of his contributions came from insurance companies who essentially support his position on some of the insurance issues that come across. I did not see one campaign contribution from a farm-related organization or an agricultural-related organization on her campaign statement. I found that to be extremely interesting, that she is the chairman of a committee that's essentially out of sync with, or appears to be out of sync with, the constituency
that she represents.
That
the committee represents even the Farm Bureau, which is the
Farm
chief
Bureau,
lobbyist.
Not a dime. As a matter of fact, they're opposing her, I believe.
Wow, that's indicative of something.
Yeah, and that race is really interesting, because here's what I can tell you: there's no way they're spending $350,000 if she's not in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think we had the Mike Martucci here, who he graciously agreed to appear. She did not. She did not respond to our invitation. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe she felt that we don't cover enough of her district. Maybe she's fighting it out in Orange County and doing radio shows there. I'm not sure exactly what happened. We never really did hear back from her, so we have no idea why she didn't chose not to appear. But I'm just telling you, based upon my many years in Albany when I was a PAC chairman, that that's an astronomical amount of money. She is spending more on her race than all of the other candidates that we're going to discuss combined.
All right, let's discuss some of the other candidates, because we've only got about 15
Alrighty.
minutes.
Well, the Amador Hinchy race. Very, very interesting race there. And Rich Amador lives in the northern end of the district. He grew up in Greene County. He's now living in
Rensselaerville.
Yeah, which I think is in Schoharie County or Albany County. But he's pretty well known. He was a trooper in Greene County for many years. People liked him, knew him. I know the Hinchy name is well known, but north of Ulster County, I don't believe it's known at all. I actually think that Michelle is just a little ahead of herself. I think she needed to find something, if she wanted to be a politician and make a career of it, kind of like her dad. She probably needed to do something in a district that her father also was involved in, if she was going to use the family name as a campaign, credential, so to speak.
Well, Maurice never held public office either, and ran for the assembly in his first. He did not win his first election. In fact, it was the only one he
bid
lost.
off a lot less in an assembly district than
Senate district is over 2 times larger in terms of population.
And he was a major recipient of the Watergate. That was he won in '74.
Yes, I know, and he denied that for the rest of his career. It was Maurice that won that. I'm channeling LBJ in context that he looked at all those Ivy League Kennedy whiz kids in the administration and shook his head, and he said, I just wish one of these guys had run for county sheriff at some point. And that speaks to the so-called common touch of kind of working your way up. There are some people that think that Michelle may be running ahead of the crowd, but I don't really think so. I'd like to see more, and I haven't seen this yet. I'm not going to see it before the election. I'd like to know more about her. I think it's been very carefully. This is a very professional campaign that's being run on every level, from the publicity to the mailers to the positions taken. As far as I can see, Michelle stands for everything that's good and is opposed to everything that's bad.
Yeah, and she also declined to appear with Amador on this show, which I was very disappointed about that.
That's the word for it. Disappointed. Maurice would have been sitting here. I mean, if she wants to cite her father, and I think to far more than necessary, but Hinchy would have been sitting at that table. In fact, Hinchy might have. I understand she did challenge her opponent to 2 or 3 debates.
3 debates,
one of which I think occurred. So maybe from that experience, I mean, I'm just speculating here. She might have thought that a face-to-face on live radio might not be good strategy. One of the things I commented on my blog, and not to quote myself, but I've been concerned about this for quite a while, ever since, and I can't quote the Supreme Court ruling. Some of the listeners can, which essentially opened up this dark money, that the right to advertise or support candidates is a First Amendment right,
Yeah.
And so what's happened is you get these PACs and these committees, et cetera, who advocate on the part of their candidate. In this case, on both sides, and they're not held accountable. And by law, the candidates cannot coordinate campaigns with these independent PACs.
Yeah.
We had a discussion a few weeks ago with Dave Clegg about this, where he was getting over $300,000 from the Soros organization. I think Dave actually said, maybe it was off mic, that he thought that it actually hurt him.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine how $300,000 pumped into a campaign on your behalf can hurt you, but
he's a piker compared to Metzger.
He is, and I'm the eternal optimist, even at my age, even all I've seen over a long period of time, and I've always hoped that the younger or new candidates coming forward on both sides would be better and different than their predecessors, and this particular campaign started off on I thought. An exchange of ideas, philosophies. Amador is obviously a conservative candidate. He's endorsed by the Conservative Party. Hinchy by the working families. So you have your left and right, and people have clear choices there, and they can make their own decisions about that. And that was good. It was a good campaign among 2 new candidates in an open seat. To me, the ideal situation. And one of them fairly young for the office, 31 years old when she declared. And but now, in the last 2 weeks, it's deteriorated to just nasty negatives on both sides.
It must be very close. That's all I can say.
Exactly right, Mario. Both sides perceive that they need to make up ground, and they need to pull back a perceived front runner, at least by their polling. You say about the credibility of polls. Apparently, the politicians believe their own polls, and they act accordingly. And Amador sat here, with us last week. Was it last week?
Yeah.
It was last week, and here's a candidate who was a state trooper for I think 32 or 34 years, charged with protecting us, and served in this community, in this district, and to see him labeled by association with the words rape and incest, which is the Conservative Party position on abortion, which is in the air.
Yeah.
It's being discussed. Is that it's an absolute? It's absolute. Even in cases of rape or incest, the vast majority of people, I believe, don't agree with that.
Absolutely.
Neither do a fairly strong majority of people agree with third term abortions or late third term abortions.
Yeah.
So that's out there. But to label to associate a citizen with that kind of rhetoric, I found it quite frankly deplorable. His comeback that she's a New York, essentially a New York liberal who's going to represent because she lived in New York after college. Well, a lot of people can't find jobs in Ulster County.
Sure.
They go to the big city and they make a living. Some came back. Pat Ryan,
Yeah.
Our county executive, they come back here eventually, fairly young. I think Pat was 35 when he was elected, 36.
Sure.
And that's a familiar pattern. To suggest that she hadn't voted in elections in the during that period, why not? She lived in New York.
Yeah.
Why should she vote? She couldn't vote up here. Presumably, she's been voting here since. That type of negativity on both sides.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in that respect.
What I get disappointed about is how the folks who run these campaigns have such a low opinion of our intellectual capabilities that they essentially insult us with some of the drivel that comes out in these campaign documents. I'm just generally amazed at what a low opinion they have of the electorate.
I think it goes almost goes beyond that. I think it goes into contempt.
Wow.
Really, that these people are so stupid that they can be swayed by half-assed, pardon the expression, arguments that leave out the relevant points. We talked to a listener a little while ago, I think in the last segment, who was
we witnessed essentially bullet points either from Fox or from MSNBC, and these folks just buy it hook, line, and sinker because Rachel Maddow said something, they just believe it, or Sean Hannity said something, and it's automatically gospel, and it's kind of shameful.
I think that it comes down to all of us as the voters. This is our district. This is our city, our country. To be as well informed, and it's getting more difficult, I think, all the time to be well informed, to seek out the truth and the facts, and then make up your own mind to do your homework. You sit around on the couch watching Hannity or Maddow do all the research for you, the one-sided. I flip back and forth. I think as I mentioned, and I get whiplash after a while.
I will say that I've had a difficult time trying to find anything fair. For the sake of making a plug, what I read every day is the one paper I do read is the Wall Street Journal. And I know they're mainly business oriented, but they take Trump to task. They editorialize. They beat him up when he needs to be beat up. They beat up the Democrats when they need to be beat up. I find them to be probably the most balanced. You know, they're not perfect, but I find them to be the most balanced. So this is pre-election day. Tomorrow's the big day I'm looking forward to this finally being over.
And we're on again when?
I think we should remind everybody that we will be on Monday, the 23rd of November, and we'll do an autopsy on. we'll do an autopsy on this election. We'll see what occurred. By then, we should have some results. It's 3 weeks from today. We should have some results. I think it'll be a very interesting show because I think we're going to be able to sink our teeth into quite a few
What
of
happened?
the, and see if we can come up with some ideas on how it happened, why it happened. So we'll be back then, and also want to remind the listeners that we will be at the WGHQ Christmas Fund raising money on for a wonderful cause. This Thursday, we're on from 2 to 2:30, and I will have a big announcement there. I have strong-armed the wife of a prominent politician who is going to make a contribution, and she's going to match the first $500 in contributions that we receive from political figures, and regardless of which party. So you folks out there who are listening, your 500 can become 1,000 if you donate during the 2 to 2:30 time frame when Yui and Mario will be on the air. So I just wanted to make that, announcement.
Challenge.
And we'll see everybody on the 23rd.
Thank you, Mario Catalano and Hugh Reynolds. And we look forward to seeing you at 2 o'clock this Thursday at the Boyce Dairy Milk House. Thank you so much for hosting that segment. And thank you for sharing the morning with us and participating in Kingston Community Radio, KCR AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and our live streaming on mykcr.org. And until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities. We now return you to Real Country Radio.
Country skyline brings an urban lullaby that still rings true. When I passed you on the street that day, should have let that red scarf fly away like any chance I had of keeping you. Like the northern wind a blowing, yeah, my lonely heart was frozen. Never knew I'd find a way to break yours too.